AdultFriendFinder was actually a legit site. Maybe 2 out of 10 profiles were real though. Met the only squirter I've encountered on it. People who signed up for those local MILF websites. What happened? Is there actually an abundance of local MILFs wanting to be ducked? Oh man, it's so good to see you, my beautiful viewer. So glad you can join us once again for another story time. Since you're here, can you do me a favor and hit the like button for the algorithm? This also shows YouTube that you enjoy spending time with your favorite storyteller, Andrew. If you do, I'll kindly release the corona vaccine. Let's get this show on the road and start the stories. I'm pretty sure all the local MILFs are already getting ducked one way or another. I mean, it's obvious they are fake. I live in a small town and know many people here don't recognize any of those hundreds of different local MILFs. They just redirect you to another site. As a cop, I can tell you, almost all women looking for sex sites are for prostitution. As a woman, I can tell you, we don't have to advertise on the internet. Seriously, no matter how old, fat, ugly you think a woman is, someone out there is ready to hit it. I knew I shouldn't have read the answer. Now all hope is lost. I've never clicked, but have always held the faint glimmer of hope that there was, in fact, an abundance of hot MILFs in rural Denmark, just waiting for my marriage to fail. Now my day is ruined. Duck your Reddit. A week ago I saw that kind of ad. When I was looking for a torrent. I signed up for it. They asked couple of my personal information, name, last name, address, credit, debit card, security code, etc. And once I was done with applying, I received a mail saying my local MILF will be at my place in 2 weeks. 1 week left. I'm excited and happy. I'll keep you updated, guys. Actually, I can say yes. This does work. You'd be surprised how many want to get out and get some action. What I learned though is that the M is for mailmen. After plowing a good several of them, I realized this and requested a refund. I haven't because it's a scam. The ads always say they're 3 miles away. 3 miles from me in every direction is the sea, moorland, or woodland, so unless the MILF in question is a mermaid I'd like to duck or some kind of witch, then no. Nope, it's fake. Especially since I live in a rural area. The fact that the ad even came up was a dead giveaway that they must be doing it to anyone who's visiting a website. Especially if they have the same series of pictures and ads popping up whenever you visit porn sites. I believe that's one picture of a MILF used in an ad that's about 2 years old now. I did hook up with a local MILF one time. But it was out of chance and it had nothing to do with those pages, neither any dating app. I just met her through some friends. The moral of the story is that there are local MILFs that want to duck with younger guys. You just have to meet them in the wild. I feel quite accomplished. She had fake boobs, and I gotta say, they're quite nice. Pretty soft even. 10/10. It was a little weird when I found out I was younger than her son, yeah. People who ducked a local MILF without going through those duck a local MILF websites, how? I was nice to her at work for several weeks, then saw her at a bar shortly after a bad breakup, and we started conversing. 2 nights later I get a 12 a.m. text asking me where I was. I was drinking alone at my condo, remember bad breakup. So I responded that I was drunk at home, and she wrote back, you should be drunk at my house, my kids are at their dad's. So I head to her place, which wasn't far from mine, but it was in a swanky gated neighborhood, knock on the door, start making out, pick her up and carry her to the bedroom. Ended up having sex with my pants around my ankles and my boots on, and crawling into extremely comfy king-size bed and sleeping like a baby. It was a real turning point after my breakup. I clicked on one of those once in my younger years out of interest and possibly desperation. Sadly, no local MILFs wanted to duck that night. But I did meet a lovely MILF a few years later in a bar. Didn't end too greatly though, got kicked out as I was rounding third. Edit. Here's the story behind that. Met this girl in the bar, figured she was about early 30s, didn't really care. We hit it off, a very rare instance for me at the time, and after being a few drinks deep, she proposes we go back to her place. Once we get there we start making out and soon enough she's telling me if I go down on her she'll do the same for me. So as I'm under the sea I hear her phone go off, and suddenly she goes, "You have to leave." I ask her why and she basically goes, "My daughter's about to be home, go now." So she grabs my arm motioning me up, throws my shirt at me, and essentially throws me out the back door. She tells me to walk up the neighbor's drive and shuts the door in my face. Nothing too substantial, but that was my one and only MILF experience. So, obviously they're fake. 100% just a scam to try and get your credit card info or charge you money for stuff. Sometimes you can get into the sites without entering information, but most will at some point end up trying to bribe you, won't let you continue without paying. As for the local MILFs, they're either robots which have a programmed conversation, which is really just a few questions, and then buy premium to meet with me, or someone who is really invested in getting you to click on the link they sent you so you can meet up and sexy time. Angie really isn't 8 miles away looking for big dick, just a guy with a fake website looking for some dummies. They will also use your email to hand out to other services who will spam you with how women with really unique names like Sarah, Jennifer, Laura want to intercourse. So you now have a constant flow of sex telemarketing in your mailbox. Yeah, so not my proudest moment, but here goes. I was deep into a jousting session one night and saw one of these ads. It was something along the lines of meet local mature women in your area. I figured there might actually be local MILFs in my area who want a young guy. Crazier things have happened. It took me to a sign-up page where I made a fake account with a made-up name and old email address I hadn't used for years. Once signed up, it showed a number of MILFs were online and wanted to chat. I proceeded to chat to them, but there were obviously bots scripted and had extremely dead chat. I've literally had better chat from the W302 bots at Drainer Willows, it was that bad. I then ran out of messages and had to buy premium to continue chatting. I think it was a 5.99 one-off payment, which was probably a scam. There are actually real girls chatting with you on some sites. My ex-girlfriend did one of those live chat things for a while and showed me how it works. So you log into a site and you assume a fake girl profile with fake profile pictures and fake personal info. You get assigned several dudes you can chat with simultaneously. Before you got them assigned, other girls have already chatted with them. When you log in, you just have to continue the chat that other girls before you have started. You can see the chat log because you will have to continue the chat so that the dude doesn't suspect that you now are a different person. The point of all this is that you can work when you want. If you log off, another girl will take over. And if you log on, you take over from another girl. Every sentence must contain a minimum of words. So no short answers like yes, no, or something like that. It has to be complete sentences. You get paid the more you write. If you do this a whole day, it's like minimum wage. If you do this long enough, you will get a pay upgrade. The dude has no idea he is chatting with different girls, all who uphold a fake profile. The dude will ask for pictures of you, and you have a gallery with nude pics of a random girl that you can send to him. He will also send pictures to you. The dude will continuously ask for a meet-up, and the rules are that you, as the girl, must give vague answers like yeah, let's maybe meet up next week, and keep asking him questions. The goal here is to keep the dude in the chat as long as possible, for he is paying for every message. It's like telephone sex but in text form. Edit. Forgot to mention that you chat with several dudes simultaneously this way. EDIT 2. Since people keep asking, yes, you can be a guy behind the fake profile. Sorry for not mentioning this earlier. I remember that my ex thought it was exhausting for her. So she did like a couple of hours every other day, more or less. So not full-time, and that would maybe translate to a couple of $100 a month in my country's currency for say 30 hours work. And the thing is, you can't just write anything you want. You have to study what the other girls have written before you and jump off that so you don't contradict yourself if the dude wants to know more about you and what you have talked about before. At the same time, you must be flirty and come up with questions that keeps the dude interested to continue to chat. It's more work than it sounds, and thus exhausting to do for several hours in one sitting. My ex did not think that it was worth the money. Also, she said that those dudes come from exactly those kinds of meet this hottie and insert your city now ads. These dudes are always desperate and thirsty middle-aged men. I tried it myself one time together with my ex, just for fun. It's really harder than it sounds. I really had trouble coming up with things to write. And I had to always check the chat log so that I didn't contradict or repeat myself. The fun novelty of this whole thing wore out pretty quickly. Thanks for watching. What did you think of the story time? Let me know in the comments below. If you liked the video, smash that like button and subscribe so you don't miss any more story times.